The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
One
and
fall.
it's for the WWE Universal Championship.
Oh, Rushaholics! Don't you dare be sour! Clap for your world famous 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon champion and feel the power! Bang your head to the opening riff! Whew. Now I'm feeling good and loosened up after that intro there. Woo! Take y'all to church today. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy J-Dub here, and welcome to episode 28 of The Real Rush, right here on YouTube. 28. Bringing especially to my Nova peeps something good with the number 28 on it instead of Route 28. If you have to travel that shit every day, then you know what kind of pain we there with. We there every day on the regular. But that's neither here nor there, ladies and gents. Hey, if you listen to me while you chilling somewhere on Route 28, you know, just put the YouTube on and then just hand me over the audio part. That's cool too. You can do that. I'm just not converting it to audio. No. It's a video show. How the hell are you gonna have? Yeah, exactly. No, we ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole, wormhole, any type of hole. Anywho, this is episode 28, the good 28 for your ass this week, ladies and gents. How y'all doing? Everything good? We good? Temperature's still getting better. The moods are still getting better. Everything's still getting better. Things are good. I think things are good. Why are things good? Well, as you can see, we feeling a little bit of a WrestleMania hangover. Mad props to the new WWE champion, Kofi Kingston. Where is he on this motherfucker? There he is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I was crying my eyes out up here in the vault when that shit was happening down or going down last weekend, y'all. God damn. Whew. And almost became dual champ as the WWE and the Universal Champion. The next night on Raw, but then the Bar, Cesaro, and Sheamus had to come in and fuck that up. So I'm gonna have to have words with my boy Sheamus next time I see his ass. Right? Anywho, once again, that's neither here nor there, ladies and gents. Gonna have to get on down to brass tacks. Because as I mentioned last episode, I got 6 movies for y'all. And as I also mentioned last episode that, what was it? Entity willing that I would have the review for y'all for the public this week. No. It didn't happen. Womp womp. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It had some, it was limited, like here, and then now it's in a different theater, like even farther. The scheduling just wasn't working out. So as much as I wanted to take the journey to go see that joint, I do not have the review for you because I was not able to make the journey to see that point. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that maybe it'll get a little bit more exposure and, you know, start coming to more theaters over the next couple of weeks. I know in the digital age and the way things move through the theater circuit, more than likely it's not going to do that. But hey, keep hope alive. Power positivity, baby. So, thus, I do still have 6 movie reviews for y'all this week. Something else took the public's place. What took the public's place? It got swapped out for Peterloo. Now, we're going to get to that review later on in this episode. But the reason that I wanted to bring up Peterloo at the beginning of episode 28 is because it's time, ladies and gents, for your boy, J-Dub, right here on the Real Rush, to give out an epic shout out once again to the good peoples at and the Angelica, hands down, just in general. Why? I'm going to tell you why right now. Here, story time. Alright, so last night, I'm up there, peeping Peterloo, and it's the last show in Peterloo. It's the 7:30 show in Peterloo. There were only 4 shows in Peterloo. I'll get to that a little bit later. Anywho, so Peterloo. Half an hour into Peterloo, there's this weird sound. And it sounds of this era, coming from the sound system. Which is odd to me, because I'm so invested in a movie that's taking place in the early 1800s, I'm thinking to myself, that shouldn't be in this movie. What's going on here? And then the blinking lights came on, and somebody came over to the sound system and said, there is an emergency in the building. Please evacuate to the nearest exits as calmly and quickly as possible. So that's exactly what everybody did. Goodness, everybody was calm and cool and quick about it. So anyway, fast forward about 20 minutes later, they let us back into the theater and announce, I'm thinking the whole time while we're standing outside the theater that, damn. So when I went to go see Going in Style a couple years ago, when the power got knocked out, well, the power got knocked out. There was nothing we could do about that, so it never came back on. I had to come back to see Going in Style, but I still count that as one showing since I saw it as one movie. Another story for another time. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm going to have to come back a different night to finish up Peterloo. Damn, that's a 3.5 hour plus long movie. I don't want to do that. But luckily, not only did 20 minutes later did the Angelica the whole block let everybody back into their respective businesses, but the Angelica peoples also announced that they would be resuming all the movies still in progress. Awesome. So that right there deserves an epic Real Rush golf clap on its own. Thank you very much. I've never been in a theater situation where the joint's been evacuated and they still resume the movie afterwards. But then again, that's really the only theater evacuation place I've ever been in. So yes. Situation I've ever been in. So yeah, I digress. After the movie, 3 hours later now, we get handed free movie passes that are good, if I read the bottom of the ticket correctly, until New Year's Eve 2022. 2022. That's a minute from now, yo. That's a lot of minutes from now. And that is because that was their way of saying, hey, sorry about, the emergency earlier. It did turn out to be a false alarm, so thank God nothing happened. Nobody was injured. Nothing happened. But they said just for sticking with us through that, they handed everybody free movie passes, which I felt, I didn't, at least I'm there all the time, so I was like, you really didn't need to do that. But just for the way that y'all handled it, and for just your continuous, amazing, epic level customer service just through and through, like, just being the best. My home away from home, really, I think I can go ahead and officially say that is like an official Real Rush spot. The Angelica up in the Mosaic District, up in Merrifield, Fairfax, Virginia. Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for everything that y'all do and just for holding it down day after day, week after week. I've been there countless times and every single day of the week at some point. Not every single day of the week at once, but throughout different points, I've hit every single day of the week. You know what I'm saying. Anywho, but it's always on point whenever I'm up there. So yeah, y'all thanking us for sticking with y'all. Thank y'all for holding it down for all of us who come through the Angelica on a regular basis from the Real Rush. Booyah! So that's my epic shout out for this episode. Now we're gonna go ahead and get on down to the brass tacks, the reviews of this episode. So what we gonna kick things off with here? How about we kick things off with here? First thing up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, the latest adaptation of Hellboy. Yes, sir. Again, for those who don't know, this is based on the Mike Mignola Dark Horse comic. This is, once again, the latest adaptation. And in this adaptation, we have David Harbour of Stranger Things fame in the title driver's seat, so to speak. Yes, sir. And this is set where he's thrust into a world-threatening battle. Like, our lives are all at stake in ways you can't even imagine, like brutally at stake. So he's thrust into battle against who's this girl? The Blood Queen, Nemu, played by Mila Jovovich. Lilu. She went from Lilu to Nemu. What's up with that? I just connected that shit right there. That's awesome. Alright, so, boom. That's the plot line for this adaptation of Hellboy. Alright? Okay. If anybody's known any of the comics or anything, I haven't really delved into many like comics, because I mean, if you think like it's different, like cinematic universes branch off a lot. Jesus, like the comic universes are all over the place. So that's number one. Number two, this is my first adaptation of Hellboy anything that I've ever seen. I haven't seen either of the previous two Ron Perlman installments, which I heard are pretty good. I'm gonna get to those in a second. Let's get back to this 2019 adaptation. Now, the plot, it did get a tad choppy at some points. But other than that, I mean, you can find your way back to where you needed to be pretty easily. I mean, it's still a pretty good disconnect your brain, just chop 'em up action horror movie. And we'll get to the horror chop 'em up parts here in a moment too. But yeah, I really dug the humor and the action sequences in it. Some of the action sequences of which reminded me of some video game sequences. Like, it's true to some video game like aspects. Like, somebody must have been like a technical advisor that used to work on like a video game or something, because some of the sequences here look like something out of like God of War or something from I haven't even played it yet, but things that I've seen out of the trailers for Shadow of the Colossus. Like, it's on some epic shit, especially since I saw it up at the Airbus IMAX. That joint was slamming. Yes, sir. Or at least the action sequences first. But yeah, David Harbour's awesome as Hellboy. Thomas Hayden Church pops up in it as a character named Lobster Johnson. He's not in it much, but like, he's in my eyes like the scene stealer, aside from David Harbour, of course, of the movie, because just his deadpan delivery of his shit, bam, is awesome. So look out for that. It's to get back to what I was stating earlier. I don't know what made me say we're going to get back to this, but it is gory as hell. Like, it is brutal. It's metal. If you're a metal fan, you know what I mean by when I mean, like, the gore is on a metal level. Metalocalypse. Like, take Metalocalypse and then put that in live action. Yeah. So it's awesome. So it's really awesome on that aspect. Once again, I haven't seen the original, so I can't compare them to those. They are on my list. I know Hellboy is supposed to come out, if it hasn't already, like a 4K version. I want to get 4K version pretty soon, and I'll get the second one with that, if it's on 4K or not, whatever. But yeah, this seems like it's getting just slaughtered on review-wise. It's just getting scathed on, and I mean, unfavorably compared to the originals, which happens a lot. But just in my eyes, having not seen the originals, I think that, just in my opinion here, just on the Real Rush opinion, this could be one that grows in people's opinions over time. And once again, lest we forget, Venom, just a couple months ago, came out to terrible reviews. Now, this is nowhere near as good as Venom. I'm not going to say it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, but it's not as good as Venom. But, yeah. I'd say still see it. Absolutely. Still see it. See it for yourself. And see it in IMAX. It's playing everywhere. And be prepared for some gory shit. It's on that tip, ladies and gents. Oh, and It is a comic book movie. Yeah. Stay all the way through the ending credits. Hellboy, playing everywhere. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, I'm actually going to go switch gears here a little bit. We're going to go a little bit from some less mainstream stuff to something a little bit more independent, yet, despite its independent status, this joint is still the most asked about movie this weekend. Like, out of all movies that came out this weekend, this is the movie that everybody's been like, yo, J-Dub, have you seen this joint? And yes, I did see it. Not only did I see it, but I saw it opening night due to scheduling, not necessarily issues, but just, due to theater showtime bookings. But I ended up seeing opening night on Thursday night, so I got the jump on it. I'm talking about the new sci-fi joint, High Life. We're going to get some High Life in this funky joint. Yes, sirs. Yes, ma'ams. This is Claire Denis' English-speaking film debut, okay? Sci-fi. It follows a group of death row inmates that are sent into outer space. Now, they're under the impression that they're sent out there to figure out a way to, harvest energy from a black hole that is nearby. When in reality, they're actually being sexually experimented on. And when I mean sexual, I mean it's erotic as fuck. Especially in space. Like, yeah. It's wow. Yeah. There's I'm not even just gonna be sugarcoated. There's a little bit of a spoiler alert. In more ways than one. There's a lot of white bodily fluids. And that's all I'm going to say. Don't say I didn't warn you. Just be ready for it. But don't let that deter you either, because it is an amazing piece of film work. So you got Robert Pattinson, you got Juliette Binoche, you got Mia Goth, you got Andre Benjamin, aka Andre 3000 from Outkast. Shaolin, you better know that, or whatever else he said at the end of that one Outkast song. But yeah, they all give interstellar performances. Speaking of interstellar, this did have a little bit of interstellar-ish elements to it. So it's like an erotic Interstellar. Take that for what it's worth. But it's most certainly not to be missed. It is very brutal at times. Not in the same sense as Hellboy brutal, but in a different way. And that's all I got to say about that. But once again, not to be missed. It's a well done, non-linear narrative that just flows well with the theme of the movie itself. So yeah, see this, see High Life, get your mind blown. It's currently in limited release. I know that the Angelica currently has it. For how long, we're not too sure. Definitely at least through this week, so until I would say no later than Wednesday, Thursday at the very latest. And I'm not sure if anybody else is getting it after that, but most certainly if anywhere else in the DC metropolitan area or anywhere that you may be watching this, you get a chance to see High Life, do not miss this joint. Oh, something else to note. The ending credits song kind of fits the heavy tone of the movie itself. So I stuck around. Obviously, I'm sticking around to through the ending credits. I do that through every movie. I'm there from the Ruta to the Tuta, or the Ruta to the Tuta. I guess that's the way that you would see it on screen. So yeah, Robert Pattinson sings this joint, and I've never heard Robert Pattinson sing before. Anybody else who has would probably say, "Well, duh, of course Robert Pattinson sings like that, or sounds like that." Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know until just the other night. But yeah, it didn't sound like I thought Robert Pattinson would sound if he was singing something, and it's pretty good. So yeah, High Life, check it out. Okay, sorry to have to adjust myself from the roller coaster seat. I wish this was a roller coaster seat. build my own roller coaster. What would I name it? Different time. We're neither here nor there. Anyway, next up on the Real Rush Tickets. I want to go back. Let's go back to mainstream. Let's hit up Missing Link. This is the new stop motion animation film from Laika, which is the same studio that brought us a couple years ago Kubo and the Two Strings. Really good. If you haven't seen it, I do highly recommend it. One of my good friends got me onto that a couple months ago. Thank you for that. And yeah, it was really good. It won the Oscar for Best Animated Film a couple years ago, so that speaks for itself. Anywho, in the new Laika film, we have Hugh Jackman in, I wouldn't say the lead voice role. He's got top billing, but he voices an adventurer, an explorer, who ends up discovering Sasquatch, voiced an American-speaking Sasquatch, a friendly American-speaking Sasquatch, voiced by Zach Galifianakis. Now they end up embarking on a journey to the Himalayas, and boom, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. And as so you got Hugh Jackman, you got Zach Galifianakis, you got Zoe Saldana, you got Emma Thompson, Stephen Fry, and Timothy Olyphant, topping off a top billing cast of movies. It's really good. Missing Link is really good, y'all. This was one when I originally saw the posters for it, I was like, I'm not sure. Then I started seeing more trailers of it. It's like, alright, I think I could dig this. Then started seeing more and more commercials and started seeing the trailers more and more often. I was like, yeah, I think I'm really hyped for this. And it did not deliver on the hype. It didn't misdeliver on the hype. It delivered and then some on my hype, on the Real Rush hype for Missing Link. So yeah, it's not quite as good as Kubo. I wouldn't get your hopes up quite that high. But it's not too far behind Kubo either. So, boom, go ahead and take that. It's touching at moments. It is laugh out loud funny at moments, because I was laughing my ass off really loud in the theater at a couple moments, as if there was nobody else in the joint. And it was me and 3 other people in the joint, so there might as well have not been anybody else up in the joint. But anywho, but I do believe that it is perfect for any age, just the humor that is in it. I think kids are going to like it. I think adults are going to like it the same. See it. It's in wide release. Also, with this one, you want to stay a little bit through the credits. I don't think you have to stay through all the credits, but just at least midway through, you want to stay for a little bit of a mini-making sequence detailing the extraordinary, like, stop-motion, like, set design and such of one of the scenes in the movie. Like, you get to see it as it goes along, and I don't want to give too much away, but it's just amazing. Like, you gotta keep in mind that this movie's not CGI, it's stop motion, and this is like Laika is actually the descendant, it's the successor to Will Vinton Studios, which is the studio, as we knew from our childhood, who made the California Raisins and like all those claymation films and stuff like that. So yeah, think of it more like that, and that's a lot more effort. Well, I wouldn't say a lot more effort, but you got to see it. You got to see it to believe it. Missing Link, check it out. Playing everywhere in theaters, ladies and gents. And how much time is the? I think we got time for at least one more before we might have to take a short break here. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this one on in here. Ooh, yes. Okay. Yes. Rodney, he's telling me that we had time for one more. Okay. Thanks, Rodney. I'll hit you up with like a donut or something later, motherfucker. Alright. Next up on the Real Rush ticket. Little. It's a new fantasy comedy. This has Regina Hall as a ruthless boss of a tech corporation. Now she ends up getting transformed into a version of her younger self, played by Marseille Martin, after a magic spell from another little girl. You know, after they exchange some words and whatnot, as I'm sure you've seen in the trailer and or the TV spot. Yeah. So this sounds like pretty much opposite or bizarro version of Big, right? Well, I wouldn't say that's what it is, but that is where a good portion of the inspiration came from. That's how Marcel Martin wanted to get into making this movie. But I'm gonna get a little bit to how Marcel Martin was involved in making this movie in just a second. But all right, so Little starts off a bit slow, but it does pick up after about 10 or 15 minutes. So just stick with it. It does have some really funny moments in it that the whole theater was laughing out loud at. It was I'd say about 2/3 full last night. So yeah, it got some really good laughs. Overall, though, I'd say it's more of a mildly amusing family comedy. Very enjoyable with some good morals. Definitely see it. It's in wide release. Take the family. And I do want to note a little bit of trivia here. This notes... Alright, so I mentioned earlier that just a couple moments ago that Marcel Martin had a hand in making this. Not only did she just have a hand in making this, she was noted as... She got credited as an executive producer on this film, which means that at the age of 14, ladies and gents, makes her the youngest person in Hollywood to ever hold that title. Another Real Rush golf clap. Yes, yes, yes. Little Miss Martin. Yes. Good job. Good job. Good job. And good effort. Good effort. So yeah, I think if you're looking for something that's going to be just like laugh a minute or something like that, this one's, you're going to be a little bit disappointed, so don't go in expecting that. But just, I mean, it's a really cute comedy. Once again, something that the whole family can enjoy. See Little. It's in wide release. Go check that joint out. Booyah. Alright, how you like them apples, Rodney? They are delicious, alright. I actually did get him some apples earlier, so that way he's not too pissed at me because I'm running long on this episode. So, whatever. So, anywho, we're going to go ahead and take a little break here. And let's go ahead and see what the championship match is up to. I don't even know who's fighting in that shit. Flip back to that shit real quick, dude. Let's see what's going on in that.
Did Brock Lesnar beat the fucking count? Oh, what a spear from Roman Reigns! 1, 2, Brock Lesnar still kicking out! Still kicking out! You have got to be kidding me! A good old fucking fashioned corner super punch. Here comes Paul Heyman again with that fucking bullshit.
Good God Almighty! What a fucking match! Okay. We gotta get back to see that shit. I want to see how that shit ends. So let's finish up. Do y'all want to see how that shit ends? Yeah. Wish I could hear y'all's applause right now because I know it's out there. But we'll see how that ends. We got 2 more movies left on tonight's Real Rush ticket. And then we'll get back to the match for you. Okay. Alright, David. Next up on tonight's this episode's Real Rush ticket. Now, these are the 2 Saturday Night Angelica, the first of 2 Saturday Night Angelica movies that I saw. And there was an earlier, what have I been saying a lot this episode? That I'm going to get to later. Yeah, this is another I'm going to get to later. Now it's the later that we're going to get to this shit. So, Saturday Night Angelica consisted of, this weekend, Amazing Grace and Peterloo. Given the nature of Peterloo, I wanted to do Peterloo first, then Amazing Grace, given natures of the movie. Yes, but given the scheduling of the movie, since Peterloo is once again a 2.5 plus hour movie, it was not possible. So henceforth, we're gonna go into Amazing Grace first, which is exactly what we did last night at the Angelica. So Amazing Grace, y'all. Let me make sure that my pipes are clear for this one, just as clear as the lovely Miss Aretha was in this film, y'all. So Amazing Grace, it is the actual film footage of Aretha Franklin's live recording in Los Angeles in January of 1972 at the New Temple Missionary Baptist Church. Now this is the live recording, like this is the actual footage, like us actually witnessing on film the recording of her gospel album, aptly named Amazing Grace, that went on to become the biggest selling gospel album of all time. This was originally filmed by Warner Brothers and director Sidney Pollack, and it was originally intended to be released as part of a double bill along with Superfly. And I'm assuming that if you're going to release Amazing Grace along with Superfly, that you're probably, in my mind, at least just, in ethical terms, you probably would put Superfly first and then put Amazing Grace second, because after Superfly, if anybody's seen it, you might want some Jesus afterwards. But hey, that's just my 1972 state of mind. Back to 2019. So, because some audiovisual sync technical difficulties, problems, not necessarily during the filming of the movie, but synchronization problems that beleaguered it afterwards. This doesn't necessarily get abandoned, but it ended up on the studio vault for many, many, many years to come until its completion. But even in the years up until its completion, this was even threatened with legal action from that of Aretha Franklin to not be released. Apparently, over image issues. But I mean, she looked and sound beautiful in it. I mean, she's Aretha Franklin, y'all. She's Aretha Franklin, y'all. Yes. Yeah. Now, because this movie did get finished, it got released by Neon. It was finally finished and edited and realized by Alan Elliott. Now we get to see not necessarily found footage, but not necessarily discovered footage, not necessarily missing footage, just the long-awaited footage that people were looking forward to see 47 years ago. The long-awaited footage, and get to bask in all of its and Miss Aretha's everlasting glory. It's shot on 16mm film, but just the way that, I don't know if they've cleaned up at least the audio mix of it, because it still looks like it's got that nice 1972 gritty film look on the theater screen. I love that. I love that aesthetic so much, y'all. But the audio and all of it, even though this is 47-year-old footage, pretty much uncleaned up, just synchronized, it's divinely immersive. Wow. Yeah. Divinely immersive. Enough to take you to church, baby. That's right. So, not only is it a definite must-see, but it's a definite must-see for music lovers, all music lovers alike, but especially for fans and lovers of gospel and gospel music. If you own the album, or even if you don't own the album, check this joint out. It's a limited release, so Lord knows how long. Pun not intended. We don't know how long it'll be in the theater. Angelica does have it currently. Cinema Arts will have it starting this coming Friday. April 19th. But yeah, see this, honor Miss Aretha's memory and her glory. Go see Amazing Grace, y'all. Check it out. Peep it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here comes the cavalry. Okay. Last but most certainly not least, on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, we're going to get back to the movie. Well, yeah, technically we are getting back to this movie. We're going to get to the movie. We'll get back to, yeah, we're getting to the movie that I mentioned at the very beginning of this episode when I gave Angelica the shout out. And it's the other movie, and I also just mentioned a couple moments ago. It is last night's Saturday night Angelica main event, Peterloo. Now this is the movie that not only took the public's place this week, but once again, something took the place of the public that we didn't know was going to even be on the ticket. Like, what was that, what was that last week? What was that joint last week? The Mustang, yes. See? We didn't even know that Mustang was going to be on the ticket, and we didn't even know that Peterloo was going to be on the ticket this week. But hey, we got our 6 in for you, so we still made our quota. Even though we have no quota or production value. Anywho, Peterloo. This is director Mike Leigh's epic historical account of the Peterloo Massacre in Britain of 1819. Now this happened as the British working class clashed with their government over, major social reform. This shows both sides of the issue, just, the grittiness and the not to get political, but it did kind of remind me a little bit of what's going on here and now. Yeah, just the corruption and shit like that. Not to get too much into it, but if you know your history, which I didn't know anything of this before the movie, I'm not sure exactly how accurate it is to account, but it did. It was interesting. We're gonna keep on getting to this. Now, this also led to the founding of the Guardian News publication, as well as the Great Reform Act. Now, Peterloo itself is beautifully shot, and it does have some good performances. However, as I've mentioned a couple times throughout this episode, Peterloo is just a little bit over 2.5 hours long, including the ending credits. Now, this is the movie that, once again, got broken up during the false alarm emergency last night for about 20 minutes. So, it made it, I guess you could say we got a little bit of an early intermission, so to speak. But, yeah, it's a tad overly long. And I knew this going into the movie. It was, in my mind, going to either be really quick, just like boom, 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 and maybe 1 or 2 like drawn out moments in it, or it's going to be really drawn out and then get to like some amazing action sequence at the end, which is exactly what happens in this movie. Not to spoil anything, but I mean, if you know the background to this movie, is not necessarily spoiling anything, but yeah. It just needs to cut out, if there were a couple, like, this might have been alright as like the director's cut or something, but if they just cut out, like, there were a lot of drawn out speeches. Given the amount of long drawn out speeches, it just made it overly long to that effect, and it made it to the point where I know that if an average viewer was checking this joint out and they weren't sitting in a classroom, they're going to kind of tune out. This is noted as the first miss, so to speak. This is a Film 4 production, and it did not get nominated for a BAFTA. And this is from what I led to believe, if I read correctly, the first Film 4 production in quite a while to not get that honor, or at least something on this kind of scale. So, but don't let that deter everybody here. I would say that serious movie buffs would dig this the most. Overall, it's still a decent historical drama, despite its longish running time, or long running time. No longish about it. It's long as hell. Given the it's not slam bang running time. Okay, There's a way I could put it. Like, I can watch The Hateful Eight, which is 2 hours and 48 minutes or something, I believe. Something, give or take a minute or two. And it doesn't feel like 2 hours and 48 minutes. This feels like it's longer than 2.5 hours, and I'm not giving it the inclusion of the 20-minute emergency break that we had in the middle. But, yet I kind of digress. It's still an overall decent historical drama. Yeah, I would still say it if history interests you, or if you just want to get your education on, just to get an account, or just to see something completely different in the theater. You have this available for you, so that way you cannot say that you've seen everything that there is to see at the theater or anything like that. It's currently in very limited release, as far as I know. Only the Angelica has it, but yeah, if it interests you, I'd say go ahead, check it out. Definitely check out the trailer. I did go into this one blind, no trailer, just kind of only knowing a little bit of the backstory behind it, so take that as you wish. But yeah, Peterloo, boom. History buffs, let me know what you think, even though you never do. But anywho, that's a wrap, ladies and gents, for episode 28 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Why don't you go ahead and join us next weekend, right back here. We're going to be talking to Samson, baby. It's the 420 episode, man. Episode 29. Will I have it out in time for actual 420 or not? Because that's on a Saturday. I'm not really sure, man. We'll see, man. We'll see, man. But anyway, please join me back here. Join us back here next weekend for episode 29, where we will have reviewed. Whoever. We're going to have reviewed right here on The Real Rush for y'all. We're going to have The Curse of La Llorona. We have Breakthrough. We have Teen Spirit. Fuck it. Self high five. Bang! And Girls of the Sun. Okay. So in the meantime, until episode 29, ladies and gents, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, anything at all, any shit like that, please go ahead and feel free to type those on down on this YouTube page where you are watching this video. Even though you barely ever do that either. To those who do reach out, I do appreciate it. Please continue to subscribe to my channel, so that way you know about the videos as soon as the new episodes drop. Because if you follow me on Instagram, yeah, you see the preview, but that ain't necessarily when the episode drops there. I've been sitting there for a couple hours before you see that preview. That's right, you would have never known. So stay in the know. But please also tell your peoples about The Real Rush. Tell your peoples, how many people do you know that see as many movies as your boy and takes the time to critique them joints for his own passion? Just because that's what I do, baby. How many people do you know that does that? You got your own movie buff right here in your backyard, baby. Tell your peoples, please spread the word of The Real Rush. Like, everybody should be spreading love these days, ladies and gents. Keep on spreading that love. And please, if you haven't done so, continue to follow your boy, or please follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur, and that is as always at JDubChampion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, thanks for viewing, everybody. Enjoy yourselves at the movies. Remember, when you're at the movies, please respect everybody else that is in attendance. Please be quiet. Cell phones unbrightened, darkened, silenced. Same with the smartwatches. Be on time. even to reserve seating. But enjoy yourselves. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. And we'll see you next weekend! Peace out!
We gotta get it one more time! Go for the pin, Roman! One! Oh! What the fuck? Paul Heyman! Motherfucker. Hopefully play again. What? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! And from that, Roman Reigns is still our Universal Champion. You're absolutely right. He went outside, whooped Paul Heyman's ass, and came back in the ring, took Brock Lesnar out with a goddamn, like, chop block. Look at that. Picture perfect spear, number 3.
Here is your winner, and still WWE Universal Champion.
That's
Roman
right.